So tonight, the House Ethics Committee is launching a formal investigation into Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. Gaetz is accused of trying to threaten President Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, ahead of Cohen's congressional testimony back in February. At the time, you may remember this story, he tweeted this: "Hey, Michael Cohen, do your wife and father-in-law know about your girlfriends? Maybe tonight would be a good time for a chat. I wonder if she'll remain faithful when you're in prison. She's about to learn a lot." Now, that tweet sparked bipartisan criticism and later an investigation by the Florida bar. Initially, Gaetz doubled down. Then days later, he appeared here on The Story and said this. Watch.
I want to say publicly what I've said privately to Michael Cohen and to his family, that I'm sorry if it is entirely appropriate to test the truthfulness of a witness, but that could have been done in a way that didn't invoke someone's family, and I shouldn't have done it.
What information did you have that caused you to write that tweet?
Yeah, I mean, to get into all of that would be to continue to reference someone's family, and I'm just not going to go there, Martha.
All right, so here now exclusively tonight on this news and this development, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, thank you very much for coming back. You've been very forthcoming about this whole thing. You know, what's your feeling tonight now that the Ethics Committee, led by Representative Anthony Brown, a Democrat from Maryland, is pushing this forward and they're going to review you?
Well, there's been no finding that I've done anything wrong. I stand by the comments that I made on your show. But it really highlights the double standard that exists with today's left. We've had members of Congress, Maxine Waters, actually incite violence against Republicans and supporters of the president. We had Rashida Tlaib, before the ink was even dry on her election certificate, using profanity to talk about how she was going to impeach the president. And so I guess when a Republican says something that might go a little over the line, it might be treated a little differently. But at the end of the day, Martha, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm worried about the 5,500 people that show up at our border every day. I worry about the fact that we haven't changed our asylum laws. I wish that Nancy Pelosi's Democrat House would prioritize a vote on President Trump's renegotiated NAFTA deal, but apparently the Pelosi House would rather psychoanalyze my tweets, so I'll let them do it.
You know, that it's not important, but, you know, they're the Ethics Committee, right? And if you wanted to bring ethics issues up about the things that you just mentioned, you know, perhaps that would be a good idea and an appropriate idea. But, you know, this did garner bipartisan criticism of you, and it is very specific in terms of the question of whether or not you were threatening a witness the night before he was about to testify. And in fact, in your home state, the bar is also investigating you for the same reason. I just want to play some of the, you know, we have Rick Scott, who's a Republican, and then we have Adam Schiff. Let's play that.
It's wrong, and I think it's disgusting. I'm glad he apologized.
Just being appalled at what looks like a blatant effort to intimidate this witness.
Your reaction?
That's garbage. Look, Adam Schiff is someone who lied to our country for 22 months about the president being an agent of the Russian government. You know, I think there are three things that happened this last week. You had Robert Mueller's testimony announced. You had the Oversight Committee ridiculing Kellyanne Conway, and you have the Ethics Committee open up on me. So there very well may be a coordinated effort to go after people like me, people like Kellyanne Conway, who are effective advocates for a transformational president. At the end of the day, Martha, it's really not something that concerns me. I'm more worried about the great work that President Trump's doing and the important role I have to make sure that Democrats don't proceed with a fact-free impeachment as they prepare to bring Robert Mueller before the Judiciary Committee. That's what this is all about. So you're saying
your attitude, you believe that this is a political attack on you, and it's all about your support for the president. Did the president ask you? I just have to ask you this because I'm sure this is what they're thinking as well. Did the president ask you? You know, did he say, like, you know, you might want to put something out there on social media about Michael Cohen and the girlfriends and the whole bit? Did you ever talk to him about any of that?
No, I've not had a conversation with the president that would bear any resemblance to that.
Nothing about Michael Cohen's personal life?
Continue investigating. No, absolutely not. No conversation like that with the president. And I think that that's really where this is going. Folks think they can get to the president through me because I work with the president a lot, talk to the president a lot. Yep. But look, I mean, I'm going to continue to do my work on behalf of my constituents who've overwhelmingly voted for me when I've stood for election. And I know who I'm here fighting for, and I know why I'm in the Congress fighting. And look, if Democrats want to prioritize the psychoanalyzing of my tweets, I guess they can go back and reflect on that with their voters. But nothing regarding what I've put on Twitter impacts the lives lives of Americans. And the work I do in the Congress is geared toward making sure we've got a safer and more secure country.
Understood.
I think that's far more productive.
Just before I let you go, and before we put this issue to rest, the Florida bar is also investigating you. Are you concerned that you may be disbarred for potentially intimidating a witness?
No, I haven't been involved in the practice of law for years. I am a member of the Florida Bar, but I don't work for the Florida Bar. The Florida Bar has no mechanism to disbar me or punish me outside of a ruling or a determination by the Florida Supreme Court, and I feel very confident that I'll do quite well there.
All right, Congressman Matt Gaetz, thank you for coming in and answering the questions tonight about this issue, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.